Welcome back to Topics in Psychology. I'm Dr. Sharon Eve, psychotherapist, author, and educator. And today, I want to talk about shame. What do you feel ashamed of? How does it manifest? And what you can do to care for yourself. But first, I'd like to tell you a story. Yesterday, I taught my last class of the year in Topics in Psychology. I wanted to end the year on a high note, so I asked people, what do they love about themselves? How have they grown this year? What do other people love about them? It was hard for a lot of people to come up with answers, what they love about themselves. It was hard for some people to come up with qualities they love about themselves. They're not really practiced at that and staying in that place of knowing their own value. If I had asked them, what do you not like about yourself? What needs to be improved? They would have made a list a mile long in a nanosecond. And when I asked them about making a list that they don't like and how easy that would be, they all laughed because it's so true for so many people. How did we get this way? Where did the shame come from? You were not born ashamed. It's an acquired way of thinking about who you are in your life. There are people, for their own reasons, believe you should be a certain way. If it's the kids on the playground, or your family, or a religious institution, or society, or advertisers, or magazines, TV, movies. There's so many things we get presented with, opinions or examples of things that are supposedly ideal. And if you're like that, then people will love you. And if you're not like that perfect image of, it could be so many things, how you look, how you talk, your level of education, how much money you have or don't have. There are endless ways to compare ourselves to other people. And I've often said, comparison is a thief of joy. With all of these negative thoughts about yourself running through your brain, it affects how you are in the world. Perhaps you're not as social as you could be, even though you would like to have more connections with people. There's fear. If you leave home and go meet people, they're going to see things about you that are shameful. And I would suggest to you that when you're meeting new people, they are much more worried about what you think of them than what they think of you. There's an expression I like in 12-step programs, comparing your insides to someone else's outsides. So how does it affect us growing up with this whole list of things about ourselves that we feel ashamed of? I think it keeps us from being social and letting other people know us, even though we don't want to feel lonely and we want to feel really connected to people. We're afraid that they'll see those qualities and dismiss us or judge us. We may spend a lot of time and money trying to be something that we think is better than whatever we feel ashamed of. Another effect of a lot of shame is it makes it difficult to have relationships, authentic, loving relationships, where you let yourself be seen and where you see the other person. If you have a lot of negative judgment about yourself, oh, they'll think I'm not smart enough, or they'll find something wrong with me because fundamentally I feel like there's so much wrong with me. Again, you were not born that way. So these are some of the effects of holding on to all this shame that we acquired over our lifetime. So what do we do about it? I suggest we challenge those thoughts. They came to us often at a time where we were too young to identify, is that true or not? So let's do it now. Take a piece of paper. On the left side of the paper, I want you to write down as many negative thoughts, shaming thoughts that you acquired over the years. And you can also note where that came from. On the right side of the paper, I want you to challenge each one of those thoughts. Are they true? Are they partly true? Are they true some of the time? And I want you then to write your challenge to that shaming thought. Maybe you have a good quality 60% of the time or 80% of the time. None of us are perfect. We can still put it on the right side, even though we don't do it 100% of the time. So a couple of our videos coming up will have to do with who you are and where you're going, and also the accurate mirroring that you possibly didn't get as a child, where your family, the people around you, they look at you and see your value and they reflect that back to you. We may not have gotten it growing up. We can certainly learn how to do that for ourselves now. We want to have practice at thoughts where we value ourselves, where we see ourselves and we see things we love. So when you're brushing your teeth or getting ready for bed, ask yourself, what did you feel good about that day? What did you like about who you are, what you did, what you thought? We'd love to hear how this occurs for you. Things that have made you feel ashamed, what your shame looks like, and what thoughts can replace those shaming thoughts that are more accurate and true for who you are today. Thank you so much for joining us. We have lots more videos coming up. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.